So I've got some more video clip for you. It seems since the revolution in Tunisia, many Arab countries have been revolting. And so now we have a full-blown revolt taking place in Cairo, Egypt. Let's take a look.
Thousands of protesters fed up with their government, defying orders, and they're heading to the streets to go head-to-head with the riot police.
And those police responding with bullets and tear gas and water cannons, one person reportedly dead. Meanwhile, most communication's been cut off, including the internet. And in Egypt, the internet is how many of these protesters got organized. An American Middle East ally on the brink, and Greg Palcott reporting live in Cairo with more from there. Greg.
Bill, we are right in the heart of it. We're in a production company here in the center of Cairo, but there is tear gas wafting into this room because just behind me is the TV and radio center that is yet another target of the protesters. We've been out on the streets for the past couple of hours, and this is a city that has turned into a war zone. It is a city under siege. On one side, you have the riot police, and they've been firing tear gas canisters like nobody's business. They've been firing rubber bullets, and they've been using their truncheons and going into the crowds. On the other side, you have the protesters, and they are serious as well, throwing rocks, and we witnessed them pummel one police truck that happened to take a wrong turn right into the crowds. They are angry, and we heard their anger. They're angry about conditions in this country, about the economy here, about politics here, especially about the Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak. Again and again and again, we heard them say, he must go, he must go. People have been arrested, people have been injured, and as you noted, Bill, communications tamped down by this regime. They do not want this to go forward, so there is no internet here. There is no mobile phone communication for a country of 80 million. They've been doing their best to keep the outside world ignorant of this, too. We're missing a camera. We got our production systems a little bit tampered with by the authorities, and some of our colleagues have been attacked and their equipment has been shattered too. It's not just happening here in Cairo, Bill, it's happening throughout the country. Alexandria, Suez, some of the major cities, government buildings have been hit. Political headquarters of the ruling government has been hit. Again, there is anger on the streets. This all happened after Friday prayers. The people came out, but basically we've been seeing, Bill, is a spontaneous generation of people. You walk along one neighborhood and all of a sudden there's 10 people, and then 20, and then 30, and then they start chanting, and then they start moving down. Technically, no protests are allowed today. Technically, no gathering of more than 5 people are allowed. But frankly, while the police are out in full force, the people are out even further. Again, this is a city of millions and millions, and throughout the city, and it is still going on today. There is fighting, there are clashes, there is a lot of danger, a lot of anger, Bill.
You know, this almost seems coordinated. It almost seems like a perfect storm. You know, all of these Middle Eastern leaders, they've been about in power for like the last 20 or 30 years, a lot of them. You know, people like that guy in Libya, Mahmoud Gaddafi, and like Hosni Mubarak in Egypt. Other people have been the president, or have been assumed the president for so long, and they've just gone along with Israel, Western power structure. You know, to be in office that long in that region, you have to. Otherwise, your country's going to get fucked with in a million different ways, like Iraq or Afghanistan, if you don't go with the elitist agenda. So all these people that have been propped up in the region have been people who go along with the Israel-American agenda. So now the West is quaking in its boots that all of these countries that had spent so long, you know, trying to orient them towards Western foreign policy. Now all of these countries are being are having a revolution, having revolutions taking place in them, and the revolutions are spurred on by, you know, a sense of being mistreated, in a sense that there's more money to go around, really, and that the government is misusing it, in a sense that they're not providing properly, in a sense that they're they're just mismanaging things. And so and so there's a heavy element of Islam to these protests as a unifying factor on the ground. It said in some of these news reports that the people in Egypt this afternoon or yesterday, whenever it was, they came out of the mosque, and then after they all came out of mosque is when they started protesting. So I think it's good that there is this element of religiosity to these protests, because this makes it more real. Anything which is done in the name of God, automatically, if it is a pure act, automatically, yields tremendous merit and has the power to transform in the most amazing ways. I don't care what you secular people really think about all that. You're really missing out on the understanding of what religion is all about if you don't see that. So either way, I hope that this can keep going and let the people of Egypt shake off their tyranny. Let them institute a government led by, a kind Muslim ruler, and let them speak their mind to Israel. Stand up to the belligerent in the region, the gorilla in the room, in America. America just doesn't have the money or the influence to prevent this shit from happening anymore. The world is taking a turn for the crazy. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all turns out.